Hello, hi, and assalamu alaikum. I hope you all are fine and okay. Today we are going to talk about Arthur Miller and his play Death of a Salesman. Miller was born in 1915 and he died in 2005. He was an American playwright, essayist, and screenwriter. He was known for his plays that focused on social issues and were reflecting the inner lives of his characters. His own life was influenced by Great Depression, which caused him financial hardships, and this financial hardship made Arthur Miller realize how uncertain life can be. One significant aspect of Miller's life was his marriage to Marilyn Monroe, who was a famous Hollywood actress and a sex symbol. When he divorced his first wife, Miller married Monroe in 1956. They were married for 5 years, and during that time, Monroe faced personal struggles, and she was also the victim of drug. And Miller could not write that much during that time, except for a screenplay that he wrote, and it was dedicated to Monroe. They divorced in 1961, and then after 1 year, Monroe passed away. So after her death, some of Miller's work were thought to have been inspired by their relationship. Arthur Miller was from a very rich family, but his family lost nearly everything during the Wall Street crash of 1929. To let you know about Wall Street crash, it was actually a big problem that happened in the United States. It was when the stock market suddenly fell apart uh, because of lots of people got scared and they started selling their stocks and shares all at once. This created a big panic and caused the stock market to collapse. So it was a difficult time for many investors, and his family was also one of them. Then he had to move from Manhattan to Brooklyn, and after finishing his high school, he worked in a warehouse and used his earnings to attend the university, and it was there that he began writing his plays. Miller was known for his exploration of the American dream and also its irony in his works. Uh, he believed that people are always stuck in the harsh realities of life, uh, and that is what is reflected in most of his works, right? His play Death of a Salesman, it is also taking inspiration from the Greek tragedies, uh, especially those of Sophocles, right? Um, he saw the struggle for personal dignity and a rightful place in society as a central theme in his play. Uh, if we talk about the play Death of a Salesman, I will just give you a short overview of the plot. Uh, it is written in 1949, and this play tells the story of a man whose name is Willie Loman. Willie Loman is in his 60s and he works as a salesman. The play takes place in New York, and it focuses on the struggles of Willy Loman uh, to make a living and support his family. Willy Loman is going through a very tough time in his life. Uh, like he is in the midlife crisis, you can say. His career as a salesman is on downfall, and he feels disappointed and unhappy with himself. He realizes that he has not achieved the success he always wished for, and he has not been able to provide well for his family. So, Willy Loman is therefore a complex character who has got so many flaws. In the play, we see his experiences, thoughts, and emotions. He is obsessed with the idea of being successful and feels a lot of pressure to support his family. He strongly believes in the American dream, which says that anyone can achieve success and wealth through hard work and determination. He has got a son whose name is Biff, and he used to be a very popular high school football player, but as an adult, he has not been able to find success, and he also feels disappointed. He is in struggle to meet his father's expectations, but he is trapped in his own life. Biff is searching for meaning and struggles with his relationship with his father. His other son, Happy Loman, seems to be quite successful in business, but deep down he's also unhappy and unfulfilled. He lives a life that doesn't make him happy, and it carries a lot of guilt and disappointment. Happy Loman cannot escape the shadow of his father's expectation and is trying to find happiness and fulfillment in his own life. Willy Loman's wife, Linda, is a loving and supportive wife and a mother. She is devoted to her family and tries her best to keep them together. Linda is a strong character and acts as as a very rational character in the play. She is providing comfort and support to her family, despite the fact that she faces her own struggles. The play ends tragically when Willy takes his own life, hoping that his life insurance policy will provide for his family. The play shows the aftermath of Willy's death and how it affects his family. So, this play, Death of a Salesman, is a very strong play, and it is still important today. It talks about the American dream and how society pushes people to be successful. It talks about family relationship, what is real and what is not real. It asks us to think about what success and happiness really mean. Many people think it is a great piece of American literature, and it is still performed and studied all around the world. Now, let us talk about some of the critical sides of it. Um, in this play, we see a connection between the present and the past. So, Willy Loman is shown as a family man who is working hard to succeed and sets a good example for his children. But his life is filled with exhaustion, difficulties, and a feeling of unhappiness. His experiences highlight the sadness and suffering that are quite common in the modern world. Um, This play focuses on the influence of American dream, um, and it is clear that Willie is mentally and emotionally unstable and depressed. He longs for the past and his idealized memories, and he's showing his dissatisfaction with the present and his inability to find happiness within a society that emphasizes making money. His memories of a simpler and happier time contrast with the realities of his current life. His nostalgia helps him escape from the present, but it also reminds him of his failures and guilt. Willie's dreams and visions about the future uh, become a replacement for his nostalgic memory. And eventually, Willie realizes that neither accepting the present nor living in the past can help him come to terms with the principles of capitalism that are governing his life. So, painful memories and unrealized dreams push him to dream and imagine a very different future. As far as the tragic side of this play is concerned, this play is reflecting a personal tragedy as well as a social tragedy. And especially the death of Willie Loman reflect both of these concepts, right? So his death is not just a personal tragedy, but it is also a family or a social tragedy. Um, his dishonesty and hypocrisy shows his personal tragedy. He tells lies to conceal his failures and desires the respect and admiration of others. His self-centeredness and his inability to face reality makes his relationship quite difficult with his wife Linda and his sons Biff and Happy. Uh, his wrong values focus on personal charm rather than true success. And he also tries to instill those values in his sons. The family tragedy revolves around the conflicts between Willie and his two sons, and particularly his son, whose name is Biff. When Biff comes to know about his father's affair, so it completely shatters his likeness for his father and it leads to his disillusionment and quite a different path in his life. Uh, Willie's inappropriate education and his favoritism, uh, both these things aid to the conflicts between the son. Uh, Willie cannot face the reality, and their son's dreams have been clashed. So both these things further deepen the family tragedy. And the social tragedy, it is there when we see Willie's victimization by a harsh economic system and the exploitative nature of the business world, especially of the capitalism. Despite his long services of loyalty to the company, he is discarded when he can no longer provide value, and his death represents the culmination of these personal and social tragedies. Now, we'll talk about the American dream, the concept of American dream in this play. Remember that American dream is the belief that Americans have the freedom to achieve their goals and enjoy their culture. It means that individuals can become successful and prosperous by using their rights and opportunities in America. Uh, and it is like based on the documents like the Constitution of America and the Declaration of Independence, right? This concept of American dream is different for everyone and depends on their situation. uh, People can pursue American dream in different ways like gaining wealth, getting education, becoming famous, or finding personal fulfillment. American dream helps people deal with challenges and struggle for a better future. It is a mixture of reality and desire that is influenced by history, by social inequalities, and personal ideas. Uh, the American dream is connected to strong belief in freedom, success, liberty, and well being in the American people, right? Uh, if we talk about the death of a salesman, uh, so Willie Loman embodies an American dream that is haunted by illusions. Uh, he lacks a fundamental characteristics of the American dream, and that is hard work and skill. Willie Loman misrepresents the concept, and he thinks that American dream is substituted with the pursuit of being uh, well acquainted and attractive, and he transfers the same delusions to his family, and they also live in dreamlike state. Linda supports him in this context despite realizing that their their living conditions have not improved due to the insufficient income and heavy bills. Uh, Willie and Happy Loman, they embrace his dreams, uh, but they suffer because of this dream. Willie Loman becomes a tragic hero who evokes sympathy from the audience, not because that he faces external forces or he commits big mistakes, but because he represents their own dreams and aspirations, right? So uh, the as we discuss this play as a tragedy, um, so a classical hero suffers from his tragic flaw. Um, but our hero here, Willie Loman, sorry, not our hero, Miller's hero, Willie Loman, his downfall is not the result of a tragic flaw or an external force. Uh, he is an ordinary individual, but he becomes the victim of a flawed culture. The audience sympathizes with him because they too experience the same struggles and aspirations. Despite lacking superiority, Willie is still entitled to dream, but he constructs his dreams based on a very different thought without considering the challenges of the present. So Willie then thinks of having loan from Howard, and he hoped that this will help his son Biff. But this plane does not materializes, uh, and he does not get the money, but instead he gets fired, and the loan request is rejected. So the family is now quite unstable financially. So Willie recognizes the harsh realities, hypocrisy, and cruelty of the capitalist system, which is exploiting the youth and discards themselves when they grow older. Despite being consumed by the American dream, Willie does not awaken to his circumstances. Willie does not realize his surroundings, but he keeps on drowning deeper into his illusions. And then he's thinking about suicide, and his intention is not to protest or condemn his getting fired, but his only purpose is to provide financial support for his family. He hopes that the insurance money will enable his son to achieve what he himself could not achieve. Um, the tragic end of the play, like at Willie's funeral, none of his friends attend, and this exposes the hollowness of his illusions. His conceptions were wrong, and they were shattered by the harsh realities of life. So his Willie's story, it serves as a reminder of the dark side of the American dream and its profound impact on individuals and their families. Thank you very much. Take a very good care of yourselves. See you when I see you next.